Good morning. I am Antunesia Harris. How may I help you? When I asked that question, did you think I was prepared to volunteer? Probably not. Research has shown people of color do not equate helping others as an act of volunteering, when in fact it is. The People of Cleveland Volunteer Corps is an organization designed on the principles of the food democracy system. We create pathways for people of color to impact communities in which they live. We do so by supporting food system leaders. We teach volunteers how to design activities that best leverage their individual skills and their desired skill attainment. In addition, we offer incentives to encourage volunteers to be active. I'm very excited to tell you about the People of Cleveland Volunteer Corps, but before I do that, I'd like to share a few things about myself. I consider myself a citizen of the world. Here I am in Spain, having a come-to-Jesus moment with Jesus. That little girl, that's little me. I am the daughter of parents who first met in church at St. Timothy Missionary Baptist Church. They went on to become high school sweethearts. By the time I was 5, little me, Dad had developed mental health challenges. By the time I turned 14, Mom had been wounded by the war on drugs. She remained a prisoner of war for well over 18 years. What does any of this have to do with the climate change, the food system, and volunteering? Everything. People of color have a history of being in service to one another informally as a way of life. For me, it was my extended family, my community, and folks at organizations like Upward Bound who really helped me to make sense of the world around me. I stand before you having witnessed the impact of climate change on the food system. In Haiti, I saw poverty so devastating it was difficult for my mind to comprehend. In Baltimore, I was reminded of Haiti. I can attest to you, issues related to the climate change and food system look the same no matter where one opens her eyes. What then is my transformational proposition? It has a lot to do with you, and that is more helping hands. I believe the People of Cleveland Volunteer Corps, based on the principles of food democracy, is what is needed to transform the food system. The key components to the food democracy theory is first is knowledge. People must have opportunities and access to learn about the food system. People must be empowered through training and tools to learn how to work in collaboration for the common good as a civic responsibility. I'd like to have a volunteer to read this. While she reads this, I'd like for you all to close your eyes and imagine what food democracy looks like. Open your eyes. Thanks for volunteering or helping out, whichever one you just did. I imagine myself in front of an audience on a stage, terrified, the first one up, but pushing past my fears to encourage engaged hands to join the People of Cleveland Volunteer Corps. In the first image, you will see 1 independently wealthy multimillionaire, 2 pilots, 2 executive level managers, 1 Ethiopian princess, 2 PhD students, and 1 girl from Cleveland. In the second image, you will not find a pilot or an independently wealthy millionaire. As a matter of fact, in that image, you will see people who suffer from food insecurity, low wage pay, and the stigma of being returned citizens. I asked all 20 people if they volunteered. All 20 people told me reasons why they do not. I asked all 20 people if they would help me out. All 20 said they would help me out. I discussed volunteer opportunities with 5 food system change founders. All 5 stated that they would like support to organize a volunteer organization and manage such activities. How realistic is it to design a volunteer organization that incentivizes volunteers of today to become food system leaders of tomorrow? It's very realistic with your help. Let's talk about our pilot year. The People of Cleveland Volunteer Corps seeks to partner with an educational organization for the goal of to serve as a community-based participatory research. We like to investigate a little further of what are the desires of people of color when it comes to volunteering and what are the needs of organizations. Simultaneously, we will identify 5 food service organizations and citizens who desire to improve the food system. We will train those citizens and then support those 5 organizations for our first year, in addition to doing other volunteer activities. My friend Drew Christine is an established designer in Cleveland. Drew discovered barriers to volunteering and expressed her dismay on Facebook. Akusika is the founder of Africa House International, a food service organization that seeks to improve her volunteer activities. The People of Cleveland Volunteer Corps will work with founders such as Akusika to help her design volunteer opportunities for folks such as Drew Christine to have a rewarding experience. Translated into dollars and cents, the volunteer service of 3 million Ohioans had an economic value of $6.7 billion last year. Food system change organizations led by people of color can no longer afford to leave money on the table and the untapped resources of volunteers. With my eyes wide open, I imagine this invitation towards action. I imagine a call to people who look like me. I imagine people who are devastated and terrified by the impact that the climate crisis is having on our food system, but join forces with one another and others in the vehicle of volunteerism. Please come as you are, join the People of Cleveland Volunteer Corps, and help us develop the plane as we fly. Thank you for your time. Do I stay for questions? Yes.
That was a great presentation. I really liked it. I've got a few questions. The first question is, how do you know your transformation proposition is wandering in your community?
Well, I've actually spoken with many people. I've done some informal research. I probably have had conversations with over 100 people about volunteerism. And initially, people say no, and they tell me lots of reasons why they don't. But when I continue to talk to them and speak about how folks can volunteer and really about helping me out, it becomes a very different situation, and they always seem to agree. And this is very young people, teenagers, to much older people. I think that in the community where you see more minorities, the concept of volunteering is not as well understood. Although people volunteer all the time, they sort of think of it as just helping out, doing something for my church, helping my auntie, doing something for my neighbor. And so I'd like to design volunteer opportunities that are structured in similar ways where they feel as though they're helping out.
Okay. How does your proposal build on other food system efforts already taken in Cleveland?
Tremendously. I spoke with over 15 food system leaders, and when I asked the question about volunteering, the conversation goes flat. Oh, we need more people. I've spoken to some of my fellows, and I said, what do you have going on? Oh, we need people to do this. We need people to do that. There's always this need for more volunteers. Then you have some frustration on the part of the food system leaders because they're managing a business, they're managing an organization, to then expect them to also manage people as volunteers can be a little bit of a daunting task. So I see myself as somewhere in the middle. In addition, I'll be honest with you, some of the food system leaders, when I asked about their volunteerism, they don't really know what to have people do. I've seen some that have horrible websites, but they're asking for people to help put seeds in the ground. This person could use help with the website. This person could use help with QuickBooks. Many of these people are missing out on grant opportunities and other opportunities because they don't have the best bookkeeping. And so I think that what we need to do is to really strengthen their organization so that they can actually apply and be awarded some of the funds that are available.
Okay. How would you know you have succeeded?
I will know I succeeded when I see more people having general conversations about their volunteer experience and how they spend their time. When in the grocery store, people connect and say, oh, I remember you, we worked at Africa House. Oh, I remember you, we did this together. That's when I know that I've succeeded, when volunteering becomes a part of the daily conversation.
Okay. What would you say to people that are skeptical about your idea of being impactful in the community?
I would invite them to come out into the community with me. I would invite them to give me a list of their friends that I could call to invite them to come and do some type of volunteer activity so that they can understand that it is beyond just giving to others. When you volunteer, you also give to yourself.
What would you say is your biggest obstacle you're facing?
I don't think of this as an obstacle. I think of this as you ask, someone says no, then you talk to them and you ask someone else and they say no. So I don't think that the obstacle in that exists. I think perhaps if there is an obstacle, it would be COVID. It would be COVID-19, because what I'm talking about is to create situations where people can engage intergenerationally, where people can engage based on skill, different skill levels. I show the picture of the two groups that I was members of. The one group, we were in Ethiopia and we were going to Dubai. The other group was at a kid's birthday party. When we talk about diversity, so often I hear diversity based on race, which I think is very basic. You had diversity of skill set in that particular group. And I think that the first group, people who are very established, could really be beneficial to folks who are not, more than just achieving some type of goal based on the volunteering, but leading to career paths, leading to more people of color in the pipeline as food system leaders. We have to have ways in which folks can be educated and then invited to be a part of this system.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.